Starting today, the Biden administration is changing the way Ukrainian refugees seek asylum in the U.S. A new program called Uniting for Ukraine now requires refugees apply online before showing up to our port of entry. In fact, just hours ago, Ped West shut down, with Homeland Security saying they will no longer accept refugees who have not gone through that online process. CBS 8's Shannon Handy joins us live now from Ped West with details on those changes. Shannon, it looks a whole lot different out there right now.
It certainly does, Marcella. You can see right now there is no activity here at Ped West. It is officially shut down, and it's been cleaned up. I mean, here's a trash bin with a lot of what's been left over. In fact, here's an old flyer with instructions for Ukrainian refugees. This is, of course, where thousands of those Ukrainians have shown up and been allowed into the U.S. under humanitarian parole, where the Biden administration says Uniting for Ukraine will streamline that process. Volunteers at Ped West spent Monday cleaning up and clearing out supplies they've used to support the more than 10,000 Ukrainian refugees who have come through here over the past several weeks as they made their way into the U.S. under humanitarian parole.
At least I'm alive today and I'm safe.
Zina Ida was one of the last refugees allowed in Monday, saying like so many before her, the journey was long and stressful.
It was difficult, many traveling. For the last 2 nights, I couldn't sleep at all.
Starting today, Ukrainian refugees who want to come to the U.S. can no longer show up at ports of entry unless they meet certain requirements first. It's part of the Biden administration's Uniting for Ukraine program. Ukrainians must apply online to be eligible. They had to have been a resident of Ukraine as of February 11th, 2022, have a supporter in the U.S., complete vaccinations and other public health requirements, and pass background screenings. Once approved, Ukrainians can legally stay in the U.S. for up to 2 years.
It's still the humanitarian parole, except now they can get the process started and go through the interview in Europe.
Alina Gordon with Church of Music San Diego has been part of the volunteer efforts at our border. She supports the new process, saying it will be much easier for Ukrainians to navigate.
I think so, yes, because this was just so exhausting and just so unnecessary. They had to take a whole new flight. They had to figure out logistics in a country they don't know.
Still, there are many unknowns, like what happens after that 2-year period, and what about refugees from other countries? Highest, a nonprofit humanitarian organization, held a Zoom call about those concerns today, saying they're pushing the Biden administration to clarify.
But the announcement was devoid of any really essential information.
And for more information on details on this new program, Homeland Security did put some info on their website. So we put a link to that on ours. Just go to cbs8.com and click on this story. Marcella?
Shannon, I know a lot of families have been talking about being host families for Ukrainian refugees. Is that still a process in this new plan?
It is. In fact, if you want to be a host family, you have to apply online through the government website. And that information is also on that link on our website. The problem is, though, the government says they're not going to be in charge of matching people. So what they're hoping is that Ukrainian refugees already have been linked up with a host family through a church or volunteer organization or someone they know, like a family member. If it's one of those situations where you just want to help and you don't know who you are going to help, they say you need to contact a church or a volunteer organization to help you connect to those Ukrainian refugees. But either way, if you plan to host a Ukrainian family, you must apply online and you have to go through a rigorous process, including showing that you have enough financial support to support those Ukrainian refugees.
Shannon, for the past several weeks, you've been reporting on the process, and it has seemed very arbitrary at the time as far as who gets let into the U.S. and who doesn't. So we appreciate the fact that they're trying to have a process and streamline it. But of course, whenever there's change, there's a lot of confusion, there's lags in knowledge, and so hopefully they can get through this, streamline it, and everyone will know exactly how people can apply for asylum and get to the U.S. with those host families.
Yeah, let's hope so. And we'll keep on top of this story and share any of the new details that Homeland Security releases as they unveil or roll out this new program, because it probably won't go by without some issues that arise. So we'll be sure to keep on top of that.
Thank you so much, Shannon, reporting live at our border.